Cut the music. Cut the intro out. Cut it. Wait, cut it out. Like Blaze likes to write. Don't be playing that after show chat theme on Food Chat with HD. This is Food Chat with HD. It's not after show chat. So there's no need to be playing the after show chat theme on here no more, because my after show chat family pulled through to us. If you don't know our after show chat family, we're almost 4 years going on after show chat. We're up to almost episode 300, and they came through for HD. Gene and Ramona came through. I promised last week there'd be a new intro video. Well, it's here. Mrs. D's right behind me walking in with Hope Rosie. But anyway, without further ado, there's no need to be playing after show chat opening anymore, because we have a new opening. Here we go. Oh, that's not it. All right, here we go.
Now it's time to talk about something that we all love. It's Food Chat with HD. Hungry? Well, you may just be after this, because it's time for Food Chat with HD.
Come. What, Mrs. D? Mrs. D standing up behind my shoulder like I did something wrong. I'm wondering. All right, gang. Welcome to Food Chat with HD. We're on episode 4. Shout out. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I'm going to talk more about this on Sunday. But shout out to Gene for that awesome video, and Ramona for that incredible music. And there's Mrs. D right behind me again. Shout out to them. Maybe Mrs. D wants to join me in the show. Gene always does great intro videos, and Ramona always hits the spot on the music. And right now, again, I'll talk more about this on Sunday, because we're going to talk food tonight. But Ramona asked me, what's a good New Orleans song kind of associate with New Orleans. When I said when the Saints go marching in. Ramona knows me. She knows I'm a Cajun. I eat Cajun food. Gave it a little Cajun twist. She knows I like punk. Gave it a little punk twist. It is fantastic. We're going to play that again before the end of the night for sure. But gang, this is it. Thanks again. But this is it after show chat. This is Food Chat with HD. And whether you're watching live, I see some of our regular people who watch after show chat, Steve and Jennifer Templar. I appreciate it. Gene Ramona's in the audience. Our numbers for this particular show, I know people watch it a lot after it airs live, which is fine, because not everybody can watch it on Tuesday. It's a different audience than our after show chat. A lot of people, but the numbers are below. They're pretty darn good for this. So I know a lot of people are watching after, not live, but hey, crispy shrimps, crispy shrimps. Oh wait, I forgot what I was going to say. I had some. Oh well, I forgot. Crispy shrimps. If you missed it, you were mentioned. I think Sunday night by our friend Mr. Young from ACDC. He mentioned crispy shrimp. All right. All right, gang. Let's get started with the food chat. Enough of that other stuff chat. This is we're talking about food. And anybody's watching later on, we all welcome you too. All right. So I have 3 places since the last time I did this show last week. I put up 3 new reviews. Thank you, Ramona. I didn't want to say it on this show. I put up 3 new reviews. I had 2 good spots and one that didn't quite hit the mark. So let me talk about a few of them. And if you're watching from the New Orleans area, I'm sure you're going to be familiar with some of these places. But the first place, the most recent place we went eat was a little diner. Um, it was a little diner in Metairie. And this is a little diner called um, TikTok Diner. It's a true little diner. Supposedly, it's open 24 hours a day. Now, this is in a section of Metairie. If you're coming off of I-10, you take like you'd be going to the Causeway, but you go south instead of going north on the Causeway. You go south. It's right off Causeway Boulevard, right there. I've seen this place probably since as long as I could remember. I saw this place because it's pretty unique. It's that blue building with the green roof, with the clock, TikTok Cafe, 24-hour cafe. And but I never ate there. Now, this is a joint. This is your standard. And when you look up the definition of a little greasy spoon diner, you probably would see TikTok Cafe. Because that's what it is. It's a little diner. Here's the inside over here. You can see they have the dining, the bar where you can sit down at the dining table. They have little chair, not many places to sit, but it's a real diner. Even the server is somebody you would expect to see at a diner. And no offense to the server, because the server was very nice, but it was one of these ladies that probably lived a rough life, probably chain smoked their whole life. And then when they'd greet you and said, "Hey, darling, what but very nice, very nice." So me and Mrs. D went eat there for the first time. And what we got, where I got the and it's really, that was my Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It was on a bun. It was a Philly cheesesteak on a bun. Don't see it too often on a bun, a Philly cheesesteak. But I'm looking over here. I thought I had a picture of Mrs. D's hamburger. There it is, right over here. Right over here, Mrs. D's hamburger. Now, it doesn't look like much. I liked it. Mrs. D thought it was undercooked, but I disagreed with her. You got to go watch that review, because me and Mrs. D had a battle. We had a honeymooners fight after this review over here. So you want to go see that review. The burger was decent. That Philly cheesesteak was decent. I mean, it wasn't a Philly cheesesteak like I'd get in, when I went to see Gene and Ramona in Philadelphia. It won't be that kind of Philly cheese, but for what it was pretty darn good. And to me, it was good. And there's my Philly cheesesteak sandwich right here on the bun. I think the food was like $28. I had given it a B, and I think Mrs. D gave it a B minus. So we were right there on the same page. Pretty darn good little diner if you're looking for a diner of eating in New Orleans, and it was pretty darn good for what it was. Again, I'm not going to compare it to a Philly cheesesteak sandwich I'm going to get in Philadelphia or anything like that. But it was a little diner food, greasy spoon, and I enjoyed it. And Mrs. D gave it a B minus, so she enjoyed it too. The other place we went eat, and I'll go with the good first, is on the North Shore. And if you're not from New Orleans, if you're not familiar with the North Shore, when you're in New Orleans, you take Causeway, and instead of going south to TikTok Cafe, you take Causeway Boulevard, and you go north, and you take the Causeway, which goes over Lake Pontchartrain over here in the New Orleans area. And that bridge is at about 23 miles long over Lake Pontchartrain. I think it's one of the longest bridges in the world. And it takes a while to get. You have to go 23 miles on that bridge over to Lake Pontchartrain. But when you get to the North Shore, you hit a little town called Mandeville. Then right past there, you get into Covington. And that's where a New Orleans style seafood is, and it is in Covington. Now I haven't we didn't eat at this place in about 6 years. We used to go eat there quite often when we had a campsite on the North Shore, but it's been a while. We sold that campsite, our camper and everything else on during the pandemic, and we really haven't went on the North Shore and eat there in a good about 6 years since before the pandemic, probably. But I always thought the name was weird, New Orleans style. Because if you're in the New Orleans area, I mean, there's only one New Orleans style seafood restaurant. I mean, unless I don't know. I always try to figure out what other kind of style of seafood would they be serving. Asian style, I don't know. But anyway, it's New Orleans style seafood and market. Very, very good. Now, me and Mrs. D, and I'm going to show you something, because I talked about this, I believe, last week or the week before, is my potato salad test. So this was the potato salad they serve. And this potato salad was, outstanding. This potato salad was, they must have boiled the potatoes with, like seafood boil or something, because the potato salad had a nice boiled seafood flavor. It wasn't sweet. They didn't put no relish on that one. I usually like relish, but there you go, Cleveland style seafood. Steve, yeah, we have that Canadian style seafood over here. But the potato salad was excellent. So as soon as I tasted the potato salad, my benchmark. If a place does good potato salad, and I asked the servers, and Candace and Desiree, I forget which one served me, one of them, but these are the servers. Shout out to them. They were excellent servers. Candace and Desiree, shout out to you if you be watching this later on or something. They were excellent. And I asked, I think it was Candace, how the potato salad was, and she said it's homemade and it's good. So I knew I was in the right place whenever somebody stands up to their potato salad like that. And yes, I did ask permission to take their pictures. I said, usually if I do a review and it's good, I like to tell them at the end, hey, look, I do reviews and y'all did good. If they get an A, I'll tell them. If they get anything lower than an A, usually I don't tell them, because what I'm going to tell them, hey, your floors stink and it smells like a dirty mop in here. I'm not going to give you a good review, but go watch it. No, I'm not going to do that. Then they're going to throw me in the bayou with the alligators. All right, I'm not going to do that. So, but if it's a good place, a good score, I will tell them. Now look, gang, that food, I got the seafood trifecta. It was a po' boy with 3 different types of fried seafood. They had catfish, shrimp, and oysters on that po' boy. They accidentally gave me fries. I asked, do you want your fries back? Because I ordered potato salad instead of fries. And then she said, no, that's free fries now. So I got free fries. $13 for that. Right over here, what you see with the potato salad. $13 for this seafood trifecta po' boy right here. Mrs. D got the fried shrimp. She could have got a po' boy too, but she wanted it on a bun instead. And look at how many shrimp they put on there. They put tons of it. Look how nice and golden those fried shrimp are. Blaine, I wrote you a message. I'm all in on Saturday. I wrote a message to you on your messenger. Check it out. I'm all in on Saturday. So you'll get your wish, my man. Blaine's been begging me to go eat at Parenton po' boy. So Blaine, you're gonna get your wish. It's on my list Saturday. I'm putting all the chips in. I'm going there. So Mrs. D got this again. This was 13. Again, she could have got a po' boy, but she likes her fried shrimp on a bun instead. Both were excellent. But I want to show you one more picture before I move on to the next place, and that is my grandson's meal over here. Now look at the nice shrimp they gave my grandson. It was a plate full of those shrimp right here. He was happy to have those shrimp. They were delicious. I think it was like $9 or $10 for that shrimp with a drink and fries. And they served, I could have probably ate off those shrimp that they gave my grandson. So New Orleans style, I gave it an A. Mrs. D gave it an A. And my grandson gave it an A. And my grandson is tough. He already gave ice cream an F because it was too cold. Um, and then moving on, the last place, unfortunately, wasn't up to my liking too much. And that was in Harahan, next to my daughter's house at the Red Wagon Grocery. People told me, you got to go try Red Wagon. It's a real joint. This is your definition of a joint when you go in here. Po' boys and whatnot. They have daily lunch specials. Unfortunately, what we got wasn't up to, and this is the inside, so you can tell, you go order at the counter, you sit down, they bring your food to you. Unfortunately, it wasn't that great that day. I don't know if they were having a bad day or what, but I got the roast beef po' boy. It was more a deli slice with a thick gravy, like a brown gravy from a can, and it wasn't very appealing to me. I prefer debris roast beef, and this was not up to my. I did not like it. I'll be honest with you. Mrs. D got a burger, which was I thought I had it, but maybe, oh, there it is. Which was very, very dry. You could tell they pre-cooked those burgers probably a half hour in advance and just letting them. I will, Blaine. I know what I'm getting. I'm going with the oyster over there. Don't you worry, my man. I'm going with the oyster over there. I can't wait. So that burger was dry. It wasn't very good. And I think I gave it a C, and Mrs. D shocked me. Yeah, gee, those burgers were awful. And I think Mrs. D shocked me with a D. I was and I don't blame her. They really it was hot. The roast beef was hot. I had the oysters. Oysters were okay over there, but there wasn't many oysters on that po' boy. I mean, the food was cheap, and I could see why they didn't put a lot, but still, you would like more. Now, this is not, and again, I'm going to move on in 1 second, but I want to talk about this real fast. The weird thing about Red Wagon Grocery, there was a lady hanging out outside, and she kept on coming in and going to the poker machines, and obviously rode her bike there. She was kind of weird, and I couldn't see her. Oh, that's not what I wanted to show you. I couldn't see her, but Mrs. D could, and the lady kept on, was right behind me over here, and she was just always. And now you can't see her face too good. I don't want to show her face too well, but she was always looking in the window right behind my shoulder. Like Mrs. D kept on looking up, and she was just looking in the window right here. I don't know at what. Maybe she thought I was. Maybe she recognized me, and then she said, "Hey, that's HD." Am I sure? And she was looking in the window, which I doubt very seriously. But hey, Crystal, how you doing? But that's what I thought, Gene. People are fascinated with HD. I mean, what can you do? She must have been. I didn't talk to her, Steve. I'm not gonna engage. All right, moving on. Moving right along, because we got, man, this is going to go fast. If you're from, and that's where we ate this week, I wanted to bring up something that was right around here, and it says, there we go. There we go. TGO1. Last week I accidentally said TJO1, but Tim, keep up the great work, HD. Love it. Very relaxing to watch in my evenings. Dinner on me one night when we can connect. My continued best to you and your family. Tim, I appreciate it. That's $100 super chat. That goes far in helping our show. It really does, with the food cause and the StreamYard cause and the Canva cause and everything else. It really does help. And I do not like to ask for help and nothing, but Tim, you are the man. And I would definitely, believe me, if we go eat out, I don't mind paying because for all you do for us. So we are going to connect one night and do that. Moving right along, I was thinking today, and I thought of a little topic of when you go eat it down here. Now, if you're not from right here, maybe you don't know. But when you go eat at somebody's house and you're going to a crawfish boil, or maybe they're boiling crabs, maybe they're boiling shrimp, maybe they're boiling all three, you're going to be lucky. It'll be a trifecta. You get all three. But there's all different types of seafood boilers. Because I've been to some people's places. I like to boil them myself, But when you go to these places, everybody's house, it's always a different type of seafood boiler. So I'm sure Tim saw them before. I'm sure if you're from New Orleans and you're watching later, you run into these. Yes, Blaine, I want to do that one day. I will announce some of those. I want restaurants to come on and talk about their stuff. I'd like chefs to come on and talk about food. I would like normal people that enjoy talking food, like Tim or you or any, or I know you said you were a chef. Would love to come on and talk food. I would. That is one of my goals, to do that on this show. That from the beginning, that was one of my goals, is to have that kind of interaction on this show and support, especially if it's a place I like. Invite the owner on and whatnot to come and talk to us and promote their business for a little bit. Or even chef guests. So when I'm thinking about all these different types of seafood boils you go to, the people that cook them, and everybody has their own style. I've been to many, what I like to call the super spicy cook. They make their seafood boil so spicy that you can't eat it, because they pour in the cayenne pepper like it's just no tomorrow. And I think they get off seeing how spicy they can make that crawfish. To me, I like it okay spicy, but hey, Crystal, but I don't want it overpowering. But boy, some of these people, I'm the spice. You're gonna come eat in my house. You're gonna eat the spice over here. There's the show offs. They love to share their recipes. While they're cooking, they're just, oh, I do this. Yeah, look at this. I do this. They do this and do that. I've ran into a lot of those. I don't know what kind of people. I don't consider myself a super spicy one. I don't consider myself a show off, but I do fall into the next category whenever you're talking about what kind of seafood boiler you are, and that is the person who likes to throw in the fixings. That's me. I'm the kind of person, the more stuff you throw into that seafood boil, the better. Whatever you find a can of black olive, you throw in there. Of course, you do the standard potatoes, corn, sausage. You put artichokes. I put pickles. I put olives. Whatever, basically, I put cauliflower, whatever I could find in the supermarket, and I'll throw in mushroom. I throw everything in there I could find. If I could throw a meatball in there, I'd probably throw that in there. But I don't think that would come out too good. So you have those kind of boil. I fall into that category. Sometimes you put so much stuff in and you're cooking it up, and you ask the guy, say, man, that smells good. When will the crawfish be ready? And they're going to say, oh, I put so much stuff in, I forgot to put the crawfish in. See, there. They even remember the crawfish. There's a cheap one. Now, I know I'm cheap, but I'm not the cheap boiler. Whenever I'm boiling, I'll boil enough. But there's a lot of people I go to about crawfish boil. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to offend anybody. But as soon as you get there, how many pounds of crawfish you're going to eat? I don't know. How many potatoes you're going to eat? I'm not sure. How many corns? I'm not sure. I want to know because I want to know how much to put in there. I don't want to put too much. I don't know. Don't be cheap. Just throw everything in there. Whatever's left over, somebody will take it home. Somebody will eat it. So, they have the cheap one. And I ran into those. Again, I'm not going to mention no names. Because, again, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. And look, if you're in the then whenever you go to seafood boil, there's the traditionalists. They come take out the crawfish, they lay down the newspaper, they throw all that crawfish right on that newspaper. That's how the tradition was. You always just throw the crawfish on top of the newspaper. You sit down, you eat it from the big pile. Then there's the newer people, now they have the seafood trays, so that's all things you got to take into account whenever whenever you go and see these seafood boilers. And then the last one is the sauce. Some places I went to, there was no sauce to dip your seafood in. Mrs. D is a saucer. She likes her sauce. So if we go to that place and there's no sauce, I wish we'd be forewarned, because we want to bring our own sauce in there, And if you're not familiar with the seafood sauce, we just like the standard, just a little ketchup, mayo, mustard. I like a little bit relish in there. Some people like to put a little, some hot sauce. Depends what you like, but that's the basis of all that sauce right there for the seafood sauce. Gang, if you're not watching right now, you're watching later, leave me a comment in here and let me know what kind of seafood boiler you are, what kind of seafood boiler you have. Now, look, I'm not going to complain. If somebody wants to serve me seafood, I don't care what kind of seafood boiler they are, okay? They can do whatever they want. If I'm eating free, I'm not going to complain about it. But it's just if you come to Louisiana and you're going to just run into all different types. Everybody's different. It's just like one day I'm going to talk about all the different types of food that starts fights around here. And look, and Blaine likes the Old Bay, and that's another argument right there. What kind of seafood seasoning? There's people that use the Old Bay. There's people that use the Zatarain. There's people that just like Louisiana brand. There's people that like other brand, like my son-in-law. He likes a different brand. Everybody uses a different brand. Everybody uses something different. It's all, and if you get into the discussion, like a lot of things in South Louisiana, it can start arguments. Me, I like to experience everything. If somebody uses a different seasoning than me, that's cool, because I want to try it. Maybe it's better. I'm not saying my way is always the best. But there is one kind of person that is the worst if you ever go eat at their house, the seafood boiler. And that's the ones who overcook the stuff. I've been to a place, and I was at a campsite one time, and I was watching these people boil crawfish. Most people put them in 7 minutes when the water starts boiling. Me, I put it in time 10 minutes. It usually comes out perfect around there. I saw these people boiling crawfish. I was sitting down watching them at my campsite, watching them boil crawfish, and they put those crawfish in. And that pot was going on for at least 30 to 35 minutes with that crawfish boiling in there. I was looking at that. I said, I would love to go try those crawfish just to see what it's got to be terrible. It's got to be not, you can't peel it 30 minutes. It's overcooked. There's just no way you do to eat that. So as long as they're not the overboiler, then I'm good with that. What do I use? Crispy shrimps. I like traditional Zatarans, all pro boil. I like that. It has everything in there. You take the powder, you just pour it. Or the Louisiana brand's good too. I like the Louisiana all boil. They have all the stuff. You don't need to add no salt. You don't need to. You just pour it in. If you want to make it a little bit extra spicy, you just put a little bit more. Usually, I'll do the Louisiana brand, all the powder that you don't all in one, and then I'll take the Zataran's the liquid and add that in there too, just to give it a little bit more spice. It's not spicy like if you put a lot of cayenne pepper, but I can't take that in my age. But I do like them and have a little spice. Well, crispy shrimp. If you ever come down to New Orleans, you're going to be invited to one of the seafood boils out there. Tim, if you're still in there, I'm curious to know what kind of seafood boiler you are. Maybe, I know people, they don't boil, they like to go eat out crawfish. They don't want to eat crawfish. So Tim, if you're still in there, hey, let me know what kind of crawfish boiler you are. Gang, my goodness. I try to keep this 30 minutes. Man, I'm gonna have to talk faster or something because we're right at the 30-minute mark. There you go, Tim. I know a lot of people. Well, he buys it. He buys it. There you go. I know a lot of people that do that. They don't want to mess with it. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I'm the same way. Because it's a lot of, I'm going to tell you what, if you never did a seafood boil, crawfish boil, or whatever, by the time you fill it, you get everything ready, you get all the fixings ready, you cut up the potatoes, cut up the sausage, get the mushrooms, get everything to get onion, whatever you're going to put in there. You start that water boiling and you start spicing up the water and you put the crawfish in and you boil them. And sometimes it's hot outside or it's cold in the winter, and you're boiling and then you have a mess. So you got to clean up all your mess. You got to wash the pot. It is work. So I've been known to partake in buying it too. That's why I like to go to other people's house. As long as they're not the overboiler, then that's okay. Hey, somebody else wants to make the mess at their house. Hey, more power to you. But not that I'm mean, but if you invite me to your crawfish ball at your house, I'll politely say, do you need any help? Do you need me help clean up? But in reality, I'm not really expecting you to say, yeah. That's a rude host. Hey, you need any help with that? Oh, yeah. Go wash that pot for me over there and wash the dishes for me while you're at it too, HD. Well, Mrs. D, we ain't going to come eat over here again. All right, gang. I hope everybody enjoyed the topics tonight. I hope everybody had fun listening to where we ate. I'm going to go to Blaine's recommendation. Look, I'm going to tell you what. Blaine has been on me and in a fun way. Blaine has been on me to go eat at the place. He wants me to go try over there. And I've been wanting to go. They're not open on Sundays. That's why it's a little hard to go. But I'm going to go to Parenton's. I hope I'm saying it right. Parenton's Po' Boys this weekend. I'm going to head over there. This weekend is our 40-year class reunion. So I'm going to go eat there probably for lunch before the reunion. And we'll do that. Gang, Tim, thanks again. And thanks everybody for watching, really. I appreciate it all. Like I said before, these numbers start slow, then more and more people watch over the next few days. So I appreciate everybody watching that's going to watch later on, not live, because not everybody can watch live. But I appreciate every single person in there partaking in the chat tonight and watching later. Again, Tim, thank you so much, my man. I cannot thank you enough. And watch the latest review for TikTok Cafe. I threw in a little. I hope you like the honeymooners, Tim, because I threw in a little honeymooners reference in there. I figured if you like Johnny Carson, you're gonna like the honeymooners. You'll be in that old school category. That you used to watch the honeymooners. On reruns or whatever it was. I'm not saying you're so old you used to watch them in the first run, Tim. Okay. But we used to watch them on channel. I think it was channel 26 at night. They used to play them at some station down here. But all right, gang. And especially big shout out to Gene and Ramon. I'm going to close the show off with the new intro. It really is an outro right now, but I know Gene and Ramon is working on an outro too for this show. And we'll be back on Sunday night for our after show chat. That's our live show Sunday night. We're close to 300. Like we're 4 episodes away from 300. We always have fun on there. I have a lot more reviews coming up, and I hope y'all enjoy those. And like I said before, one thing about HD and Mrs. D, we're honest. And Mrs. D is sometimes tough critic, but we are honest. If a place is not good, we'll speak. We'll let you know. Again, it don't mean that you shouldn't go eat there, because like Red Wagons, people said the shrimp were great and they looked great, but I guess we ordered the wrong thing. So just could review what we could review, what we had. So gang, I'm gonna leave y'all with the new food chat with HD theme and video, and I will see you all next Tuesday. But if you run into me at a restaurant, come and say hello. Hey, HD. Or if you go eat, look, you know it'd be great if you go eat at some of these places, and when you go, you tell them, hey, I'm coming eat here because I saw HD review it, and he gave y'all a good review, and I'm gonna come try it out. And they're gonna say, who's HD? And then you could tell them, hey, he's the guy on YouTube. He came over here eat. He talked good about this place. Now, if you go eat at a bad place, don't say, hey, I'm coming eat over here, see how bad the food is. This guy HD said y'all food was terrible. No, don't do that. I'm gonna be banned from restaurants. You start doing that. But if you're going in there for a good experience, please let them know that HD. You saw me with HD. All right, gang. Let's take this home and let's watch this food chat with HD theme. And thanks again for everybody for watching. Y'all have a good night and stay safe and eat a lot of food. Yum, 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 yum.
Now it's time to talk about something that we all love. It's Food Chat with HD. Hungry? Well, you may just be after this, because it's time for Food Chat with HD.
Good night, gang.